Introduction to the Theater of the Absurd, Introduction to the Play, Act 1 Summary, Act 2 Summary, and Critical Analysis. Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. Number 1. Introduction, The Theater of the Absurd. The theater of the absurd is a modern dramatic movement that became prominent after the Second World War. It presents human life as uncertain, confusing, repetitive, and sometimes apparently meaningless. Unlike traditional drama, absurdist plays often do not have a clear plot, logical development, or definite ending. They frequently contain repetition, silence, pauses, meaningless conversations, strange situations, and unresolved conflicts. The theater of the absurd explores important questions about human existence. It asks whether life has a fixed meaning, whether human beings can communicate successfully, and why people continue to hope even when there is little evidence that their hopes will be fulfilled. Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot is one of the most famous examples of this dramatic movement. The play begins with Estragon sitting beside a tree and trying to remove his boot. He is struggling with it and complaining about his difficulties. Soon Vladimir arrives. The two men greet each other and begin talking. It becomes clear that they are waiting for someone named Godot. They are not completely sure whether they are in the correct place or whether Godot will actually come. Still, they believe they must wait. Vladimir and Estragon discuss many different subjects. They talk about their past, their memories, food, religion, death, and even the possibility of suicide. They repeatedly say that they should leave, but they never actually go. Their conversation is often funny, but beneath the comedy there is a strong feeling of loneliness, boredom, uncertainty, and despair. Pozzo and Lucky. While Vladimir and Estragon are waiting, two new characters arrive, Pozzo and Lucky. Pozzo is a wealthy and powerful man, while Lucky is his servant. Lucky is carrying heavy luggage and is controlled by Pozzo with a rope. Pozzo treats Lucky harshly and orders him around. Vladimir and Estragon are curious about their relationship. Pozzo eventually orders Lucky to dance and then to think. Lucky delivers a long and confusing speech filled with disconnected ideas. His speech is one of the clearest examples of Beckett's use of absurd language. After Pozzo and Lucky leave, a boy arrives. The boy tells Vladimir that Mr. Godot will not come today, but he will come tomorrow. Vladimir and Estragon decide that they should leave, but they remain where they are. Act 1 ends with them still waiting. Number 4. Act 2. Summary. Act 2 takes place in almost the same location. The next day, Vladimir and Estragon return to the tree. The tree now has a few leaves, suggesting that time has passed. However, their situation has hardly changed. They continue talking, arguing, joking, and waiting for Godot. Much of the dialogue and action from Act 1 is repeated. This repetition creates the feeling that their lives are trapped in an endless cycle. Pozzo and Lucky return. Pozzo and Lucky appear again, but now something has changed dramatically. Pozzo has become blind, and Lucky has become mute. Pozzo can no longer see and needs help. Lucky, who previously delivered a long speech, can no longer speak. Beckett does not provide a clear explanation for these sudden changes. This emphasizes the uncertainty and unpredictability of human existence. After Pozzo and Lucky leave, the boy appears again. Once more, the boy tells Vladimir that Godot will not come today, but will come tomorrow. Vladimir asks questions, but the boy seems unable to provide any meaningful explanation. Once again, Vladimir and Estragon decide to leave, but once again they do not move. The play ends with them still waiting for Godot. Godot never arrives. Critical analysis. A. The absurdity of human existence. The central idea of the play is the absurdity of human existence. Vladimir and Estragon wait for Godot without knowing exactly why they are waiting. They have no clear goal and no certainty about the future. Their situation reflects the human condition. People often search for meaning even when the universe does not provide clear answers. The theme of waiting. Waiting is the most important theme of the play. Vladimir and Estragon spend their time waiting for Godot. Godot becomes a symbol of something that people expect will eventually make their lives better or more meaningful. The characters continue waiting despite repeated disappointment. This creates an important question. Are human beings living, or are they simply waiting for life to begin? C. Hope and despair. The play constantly moves between hope and despair. Vladimir and Estragon are tired, confused, and unhappy, yet they continue hoping that Godot will arrive. The boys' promise that Godot will come tomorrow gives them another reason to continue waiting. However, tomorrow never seems to provide a solution. Thus, Beckett presents hope as both necessary and painful. D. Repetition and circular time. Repetition is one of Beckett's most important techniques. The characters repeat their conversations, decisions, and actions. They repeatedly say they will leave, but they remain in the same place. D. Loneliness and human dependence. Although Vladimir and Estragon frequently argue, they remain together. They need each other's company because being alone is frightening. Their relationship demonstrates a basic human need for companionship and connection. Similarly, the relationship between Pozzo and Lucky shows another form of human dependence, although it is based on power and H. Symbolism of Godot. Godot is the greatest mystery of the play. Because he never appears, audiences are free to interpret him in different ways. Godot may represent God, hope, salvation, meaning, purpose, a better future, death, or release. However, Godot should not be given only one fixed meaning. His mystery is part of Beckett's purpose. Conclusion. Waiting for Godot is one of the greatest examples of the theater of the absurd. Through Vladimir and Estragon's endless waiting, Beckett explores meaninglessness, hope, despair, loneliness, time, memory, communication, and human dependence. The play has no traditional climax and no definite resolution. Godot never arrives, and the characters remain trapped in their cycle of waiting. The final message is deeply philosophical. Human beings often continue waiting for something to give their lives meaning, even when they have no certainty that it will ever arrive. That is what makes Waiting for Godot a powerful and enduring work of modern drama.